you need to work on yourself. If you just try to be pampered, and if you're trying to be soft, and if you're trying to be the victim and all stuff, you're not going to go anywhere. We need to get stronger. We need to get tougher. We need to not be afraid of failure. We got to go into the work. We got to face adversity. Adversity breeds character. It's strength and fighting and resistance. It does not only make the muscle grow, but it makes also your head grow, makes you a stronger person. We have to be willing to go through hardship, through suffering, through pain, through crying periods, all of that stuff. Don't shy away from any of that because it just makes you stronger. And I think today, a lot of times, our youth is so into kind of, oh, let's make him feel good. Oh, no, let's be more sensitive. Well, I totally agree with you to be sensitive about things, but I mean, there's also a sweet spot. Can we go too far? You know, it's like when someone says, well, today I just need to sleep in. It's that bullshit.
Yeah.
You don't need to sleep in. This country was not built on sleeping in. So let's get up in the morning and let's get on that bike and let's do some exercise and don't even think about it. Don't look at your email or anything like this. Let's just get going. Boom, boom, boom. Let's get going. And let's start building. And so that's the idea, is just not to be overly soft and overly kind of like sensitive and everyone is in the victim kind of a thing. I just don't buy into that. But you have to understand that every person has to be approached also differently. It's like the mind is just like the body. I cannot give you exactly the same training routine that I had because your body is different. You're a much leaner person. You need kind of to do maybe less reps and more this. You have to have a different diet if you want to bulk up and all this. So I have to be aware of that even within my family, one of my daughters had to be approached differently than my other daughter. One son had to be approached differently than the other son. So you have to be sensitive about those kind of things. But overall, it was discipline in the house. You don't turn out that light, I will unscrew those light bulbs and you will be going into a dark room at the age of 3 and you will be scared. So you better start learning to turn off those lights. You have someone else make your bed, okay, I'm gonna take the mattress and throw it down the balcony. And then you carry it upstairs and you make your own bed again. So this is the way that my kids grew up. You know, and there was crying there. Or when I burned their shoes, when she left, my daughter left her shoes for the 3 times in front of the fireplace. I said the 3rd time it goes in the fire. The 3rd time it did go in the fire right in front of her and she was crying the whole night. Yeah, those things happen. But now she does the same to her daughter. And now she says, that was great that you did that. You see what I'm saying? So now my kids were crying on the ski slopes. I want to go in. I want to go hot chocolate. There will be no hot chocolate. You know, the usual kindergarten cop kind of a thing. You know, there will be no hot chocolate. They said, we're going to ski 4 runs, and then there's a hot chocolate. They said, not after the first run. Yeah, but I'm cold. They said, so am I. So what? So what? So now let's go be cold and then go skiing. And I said, the more we ski the bumps and the more we ski the powder, the warmer we get and the more we warm up. I said, so let's get going. And so now today, when they come up to Sun Valley with their friends, they get up after the dinner with their wine glass and they say, we want to toast Daddy. Because he made us good skiers, and that's why we're here today. That's why we enjoy skiing with all of you. You see,
Resilience.
So that's the thing.
Yeah, I understand.
You got to just kind of figure it out, you know, how to do that and all this. But, you know, it's not easy. I'm not a psychologist. I'm not an expert at this. But one thing I know for sure, I can help anyone to go and be a little bit better.
Right.
And I think that's what we want to ask. We cannot ask everyone to be a genius. Let's ask everyone to be the world's strongest man and all that stuff, but to be better. Because when you're better, when you get better, then you feel good. When we improve, we feel good. When we have accomplished something, we feel good. And that then rubs off on everything. So one of the things that you learn in sports is that if you just get stuck in your own training routine and not learn from other people, that you will never become a champion. And so open-mindedness was very important to me. And so I think, like I said in my book, I learned a lot of my lessons from sports. And to me, that kind of like, and having people like Freddie Gerstle, that mentor that talked about open-mindedness and learning from others. And where you start, as you get older, you start thinking about all of those things because you become wiser. First, it doesn't mean anything. When he told me that this is what the Nazis did, Arnold, they took my brother's head and they smashed it in with a stone. They stoned him to death. And I was lucky to be able to escape and blah, 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 and all this stuff. So you hear that it didn't mean anything, you know. I said, well, that's really sad. But then it's those kind of stories, as you grow up and as you get older, they mean something to you. And all of a sudden, you find yourself fighting for inclusion and against prejudice. And you ask yourself, where does that come from, the desire of it? It comes from stories like that, you know, that you remember from way back when people tell you those kind of things. So to me, it was always kind of like learning new things and being able to, the more you become a celebrity, to be able to use that celebrity power for something positive, for something good. And so to me, it was, I learned, the more I opened up my mind, the better it was. This is simply to make people better and to make them recognize that they don't have to get stuck where they are, but they can change. Because every day is an opportunity of change. And so I want them to look at this book and to just say, maybe there's something in there that will motivate me to change and to get better, to improve myself. I don't have to get stuck in this. I can shoot for big goals. I want people to be aware of it, that you don't have to shoot for little goals, but you can shoot for big goals, that it is just as difficult to shoot for a little goal than to shoot for a big goal. And I want them to know that they shouldn't be afraid of failure, that this comes naturally in life. There will be failure and there will be successes. The important thing is that we learn from that, but not to be frozen and to fear that. I want them to know that they have to create a vision of where they want to go. Without a vision, there's just nowhere to go. It's just the way it is in life. You would just wander around without a mission, without the joy of chasing something, how much fun it is to chase something. So I want them to learn those basic lessons that makes you just more successful and better.